lead the graduands into the hall, and they come in the centre and up the aisle, and they take their seats at the front in the place of honour. And then what happens after that, as I said, is they get conferred their awards, and following the conferral of awards, as I said, speeches happen. Boring is held sometimes, but they're an important part of the ceremony itself. And then there's the recessional part of it. And you'll see that when Tony leads in the when Tony leads in the students or the graduands, they come in ahead of the academic procession, which is the academic procession at that point comprises those who are here on the podium party. And then following the graduation, when the recessional part happens, then the next phase of that is that the Vice President asks or closes the Academic Council meeting, and the podium party leaves the stage. And then what happens is that the graduates join at the back of that procession. And the symbolism of that is that they have then joined an academic community as peers with those who are here in fancy dresses and hats and stuff like that on the stage. So that's the symbolism of it. So what we ask is that Jenny would ask it in a few minutes. She would ask everybody to stand, and that standing is in honour of the graduates. And so she asks you to remain standing until such time as the podium party are seated, and then the ceremony is commenced. One small bit that is slightly irreverent, or I'm going to be slightly irreverent on, you will see different types of gowns or academic dress, and some of them are black and some of them are red and some of them are multicolored, and it's like peacocks at times, but that's how they are. But the symbolism of those also is important. Now, one symbolism that I'm not going to refer to in the actual ceremony itself is that those who hold master's qualifications or higher, this rate is for doctoral level studies from NUI, but those who hold master's or higher qualifications, the traditions of those come from medieval times, and the dress itself comes from medieval times largely. But you'll see these long sleeves on those, and for those with undergraduate degrees, you won't see them. And in medieval times, and I'm warning you of this now, in medieval times, it was considered undignified for those who were masters in their craft of teaching to ask for payment. So they used to wear these long sleeves, and as they went through their classes or as they went through wherever else, then the intent was there's a little hole here on the sleeves, and as they went through, it was expected, never spoken, but it was expected that gifts would be put into those sleeves. And I would say to you now, I think that's a wonderful tradition, and I think it should continue. But the only thing that I would ask you is that those of us who are in really elevated positions, we are so far up our own rear ends that it's not funny, but those of us who are in such elevated positions, if you wouldn't mind, as we walk through, then please make it a silent, thing, because it would be very undignified to have coins clattering, so if at all possible, do that. The final bit of it is, and I'm mindful that this week, one of Ireland's foremost comedians, John Kenny, has been laid to rest. And I knew him not well, but I did know him many years ago. Wonderful man, and I very much underestimated his talents, as I did those of Pat Shaw. I thought they were horrible, to be honest with him, in the beginning days, but that shows how ignorant I was. And they were 2 seconds, Joel would be ready to go. And so, but I underestimated their brilliance. And I think that I'm minded of one of their sketches, but it wasn't unfortunately John Kenny who was in this particular sketch. And if any of you look it up on YouTube, it's well worth seeing. It's actually Pat Shaw acting as a mentor with a local GAA team, under 10s or under 12s or something like that. And just watch it, it is brilliant. Now, I can't recreate it, but basically, what he was doing is he had a holding in his hand that he was saying, Ryan, you're useless there, you need to go out and back your man and make sure you take him out of it and whatnot else. And he was motivating them to their heart's content. And his parting shot was basically, go out and murder them, but enjoy yourselves. And I would say precisely the same thing to you today. Absolutely, don't order anyone if you can help it. But absolutely, today is a day of enjoyment. It's a day of celebration. So, on behalf of the college, on behalf of the members of faculty, on behalf of academic council, on behalf of governing authority, can I wish you as families well? Now, I'll do it formally in a little while, but can I wish you well? It's not been probably an easy journey for most of you. I met some of you, and all of you are saying you lied through your teeth. You said how remarkably proud you were of your husbands, brothers, sisters, fathers, whatever it might be. So don't feel free. You feel free to not lie anymore. You can give out to them, and you can get them back to do the jobs that they were supposed to do all along. But seriously, it is a day of celebration. There's a formal bit which will happen in just a few minutes. You might have to endure some of that. I hope that you gain something from it, because as far as we're concerned, you also are part of our college community and the extended family, if you like. So again, thank you for supporting the graduates, or graduands as they are at the moment, and the graduates as they'll be in an hour or so's time. And thank you for joining us today. There's a lot more that are joining. Harry is here in the corner, and he's streaming this. So I think there's, give or take, what, Harry, about 120 or something like that that are online or that are being graduated in absentia. And there's about 87 or 8 or something that are being graduated here in person. So, and again, the only thing that I'd ask is, if at all possible, try to make sure that when there's applause, that there's an equitable applause for everybody. Sometimes we lose the run of ourselves, and if people, if we know them, they're sort of whooping and roaring and shouting and things like that. But if at all possible, try to keep it sort of the same for everybody, because there may be people here who don't have the same level of support as as some of our students might have. I know we have people who have come from Ukraine, for example, and and had very difficult circumstances. I'm not so sure that they will have necessarily the same level of family or friendship support in person. So if at all possible, please show the same level of respect, if you like, for every graduate, and your hands will be sore from applauding them, but I would appreciate that if at all possible. So thank you, and we'll see you in a few minutes.
2024. Remain standing until the polling card team have been seated. Welcome everyone, if you'd like to be seated. We just organized the meeting up here at the podium. So we'd like to extend a big welcome to you all here today, and we're very grateful that you all made it here safely after all the crash with weather. Yeah, I won't touch it. I think that's perfect. So we're all happy. We give it a go again. Can you hear me? Yes. Okay. So we'll start again. So you're all very welcome here today, and we're delighted to see that you've all gotten here safely, especially with all the changes in weather that we've had. On behalf of the Academic Council and the academic staff, we just wanted to extend a very big warm welcome to yourselves. We hope you recognise the commitment and the dedication that you've put in over a number of years, and we're delighted to be conferring you with all the awards today. So we'll start with the formal opening of the ceremony. So my distinguished guests, graduates, as well as friends and family. My name is Jenny Grace. I'm the acting registrar at the college. I'm acting as Master of Ceremonies today. I would now like to call on the Vice President of Academic Affairs to convene the formal meeting of the Academic Council for the purpose of conferring awards on behalf of the UCI.
So, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this meeting of the Academic Council, at which awards will be conferred on learners of the Irish College of Humanities and Applied Sciences. We welcome graduates and their families on this important occasion. May I also take this opportunity to briefly introduce the podium party. Those present today include members of faculty, led by Professor Dennis Ryan, College President, myself, Professor Jane Alexander, Vice President of Academic Affairs, Marie McCarthy, the Vice President of Corporate Affairs, Marie McCarthy is the Vice President of Corporate Affairs, Jenny Grace, College Registrar, Joseph Ford, Director of Studies, Dr. John Gaffney, Independent Chairperson of Academic Council, and members of governing authority, along with distinguished guests who include Patricia O'Sullivan, Executive Director with the Higher Education Colleges Association, Dr. Thomas McKeogan, Director of Academic Programmes, Griffith College, Kevin O'Sullivan, Head of Campus, Griffith College Limerick, John Ford from Gambling Awareness Trust, and Mary Sheridan, Head of Provider Governance and Risk with QQI with Quality Qualifications Ireland. Now I call upon Professor Dennis Ryan to confer awards on the learners of this college on behalf of Quality Qualifications Ireland.
Okay. So just before I start, can I just say that Jane may have difficulty with McGuckagon at Moss. I'm sure I would have more difficulty with some other names like Ryan and Murphy. So just as we start then, on behalf of Quality and Qualifications Ireland, I'm happy to confer awards on learners of the Irish College of Humanities and Applied Sciences who have earned the awards. And I again call on Professor Alexander to invite the appropriate members of faculty to introduce the candidates.
Okay, so we will commence with the undergraduate awards. And first of all, we will have the students with certificate and foundational skills and competence in counselling and psychotherapy. I present the following candidate who has successfully completed a programme of study in the Irish College of Humanities and Applied Sciences and who is worthy of the QQI award of Certificate in foundational skills and competence in counselling and psychotherapy, and I request you to present her parchment to her.
And the candidate is Rachel Clark. And on behalf of Quality and Qualifications Ireland, I hereby confer the award of Certificate in Foundational Skills and Competence in Counselling and Psychotherapy on the following downloads in absentia. And just to remind you that many, if not all of these, are online. So when we're presenting in absentia, what we will do, if at all possible, is we leave the applause until the end of the calling of names. So the candidates in this case are Culleton Ciara, Dickinson Sarah, Dooley Orla, Fitzgerald Ewan Allen, Gleason Annie, Goodwin Tom, Halley Jason, Higgins Johanna, Kiddichart Maria, Maher Richard, Mannion Jeremy, McCready Leanne, McTaggart Laura, Nelson Laura, Nulty Marie, O'Connor Simon, Peters Siobhan, Power Ashling, Pribiaskla Gabriella, Rice Derek, Ryan Elizabeth, Scallon Leanne, Sindhu Divya, Stevens Shirley, and Taylor Murray. So you might show your appreciation to them.
I invite Professor Ryan to confer awards on the candidates for the highest certificate in Arts and Counselling and Psychotherapy programme, who are being conferred in absentia.
So again, on behalf of Quality Qualifications Ireland, I hereby confer the award of Higher Certificate in Arts in Counselling and Psychotherapy on the following downloads in absentia. Doyle Laura, Lawler Amy, Madden Sarah, McCarthy Trudy, McDermott Maeve, MacDonald Jonathan, Marino Perez Begona, Murray Danielle, O'Donnell Claire, Pierce Rebecca, Quaid Evan, and Richards Isaac.
I present the following candidates who have successfully completed a programme of study in the Irish College of Humanities and Applied Sciences and who are worthy of the QQI Award of Bachelor of Arts in Counselling Skills and Psychotherapy Studies, and I request you to present their parchment to them.
And the candidate in this case is Garvey Anthony.
I present the following candidate who has successfully completed a programme of study in the Irish College of Humanities and Applied Sciences and who is worthy of the QQI Award of Bachelor of Arts in Counselling Studies, and I request you to present its parchment to him. Amasi Oku.
On behalf of Quality and Qualifications Ireland, I hereby confer the award of Bachelor of Arts in Counselling Skills and Psychotherapy Studies on the following downloads in absentia. Fitzharris Cowell, Flynn Jemina, Fleming Camila, Kasparak Dagmara, McAvoy David, Nangle Laura, Ryan Emma, Shivani Noel, and you might show your appreciation. Again, I hereby confer the award Bachelor of Arts in Counselling Studies on the following learner in absentia: Smith Adriana, and again, please, your
I invite Professor Ryan to confer an award on the following candidate from Bachelor of Arts in Counselling Skills and Addiction Studies programme.
On behalf of Quality and Qualifications Ireland, I hereby confer the award of Bachelor of Arts in Counselling Skills and Addiction Studies on the following learner in absentia: Grania or Walsh Grania.
On behalf of Quality and Qualifications Ireland, I invite Professor Ryan to confer an award on the following candidate from Bachelor of Arts in Counselling Skills and Addiction Studies programme.
Sorry, I think I confirmed the wrong person there. I think this may be youth studies, and if I've made an error, then my apologies. So again, I hereby confer the award of Bachelor of Arts in Counselling Skills and Youth Studies on the following learner in absentia: Finn Adam.
Yeah. I now invite Ms. Margie Burns to present the candidates from the Bachelor of Arts Honours in Counselling and Psychotherapy programme.
Clifford Maureen. Dalton Sarah. Donahue Rory. John Gavin. Fogarty Bernadette. Frankfurter Jacob. Harley Good Myrn. Hudson Ruth. McHugh Chloe. Murray Kevin. Gorman Allison. Francis. Keith Antoinette. Potavian Meta. Stapleton Patrick. And Tobin Christina.
So on behalf of Quality and Qualifications Ireland, I hereby confer the award of Bachelor of Arts Honours in Counselling and Psychotherapy and the following honours in absentia. Corcoran Ronan, Fogarty Mariah, Milton Aoife, O'Donnell Niamh, Clavak Vasilija, and Zargodonik Vengas Anna.
I now invite Dr. James Kinney to present the candidates from the Bachelor of Arts Honours in Counselling and Psychotherapy with Addiction programme.
I present the following candidates who have successfully completed the programme of study at the Irish College of Humanities and Applied Sciences and who are worthy of the QQI Award of Bachelor of Arts Honours in Counselling and Psychotherapy with Addiction Studies. And I request you to present their parchment to them. Dandy Stephen. Morris Hogan Mary Muller. Quinlan Palm.
I now invite Dr. Susan Lawler to present the candidates from the Master of Arts in Counselling and Psychotherapy Integrative Modalities programme.
I present the following candidates who have successfully completed a programme of study in the Irish College of Humanities and Applied Sciences and who are worthy of the QQI Award of Master of Arts in Counselling Psychotherapy, Integrated Modalities, and I request you to present their parchments to them. Brennan Chabon. Brown Martin. Calvin Chloe. Fallon Deirdre. Megan Hannah. Helen Emer. Gilmore Rachel. Rova Sabumara. Kennedy Dalton Ashling. Kenny Bryan. Kirkus Antalianos. Nevin Spalding. Lachlan Michelle. Mazrenko Andrew. McGraw Adrian. McCarthy Cora. Middleton Emma. O'Connor Nati. O'Donoghue Elaine. O'Neill Laura. O'Reilly Jamie. Josh Maria. Thomas Dillon. I present the following candidate who has successfully completed a program of study in the Irish College of Humanities and Applied Sciences and who is worthy of the QQI Award for Postgraduate Diploma in Arts in Counselling Psychotherapy Integrated Modalities. And I request you to present her parchment to her. Part Amy.
On behalf of Quality and Qualifications Ireland, I hereby confer the award of Master of Arts in Counselling and Psychotherapy Integrated Modalities on the following learners in absentia: Stackpole Lynch Lucinda, Galligan Velma, Hadisfar Monica, Keegan Philip, Kresavikas Alves, Lynch Aileen, Menzel Clara, Muzlasak Kai, Musial Osra, O'Mahony Kira, and Wisloka Alicia. And you might show your appreciation. Oh, sorry, right, okay, my apologies. There was one graduate who missed out on this, so Deirdre, you might come forward, please, and maybe give her a special round of applause. That award in the University of Japan. So again, show another appreciation. Okay, back on track, I hope. So on behalf of Quality and Qualifications Ireland, I hereby confer the award of Postgraduate Diploma in Arts in Counselling and Psychotherapy Integrated Modalities on the following learner in absentia: Nyland Rachel. And you can just hold a second. And again, I confer the award of Postgraduate Diploma in Arts in Counselling and Psychotherapy and the following learner in absentia, and that's O'Sullivan Anne Marie.
I present the following candidates who have successfully completed a programme of study in the Irish College of Humanities and Applied Sciences and who are worthy of the QQI Award Master of Arts in Counselling and Psychotherapy, Cognitive Behavioural Modalities, and I will present their participants to them. I will then. So, Byrne, Susan Ann. Azim Alima. Fahi Regina. Emily John. McInerney Ashley. O'Donovan Anne. O'Sullivan Connell. O'Sullivan Louise. Connell. Segeso Wendy. Debreeze Efogoni. Ward Sharon. Williams Jimmy. King Tiernan.
On behalf of Quality and Qualifications Ireland, I hereby confer the award of Masters of Arts in Counselling and Psychotherapy and Cognitive Behavioural Modalities and the following downloads in absentia: Conway Sean, Lucilla Paula, Larkin Dara, McKelman Cam, Morta Aoife, O'Grady Anne Marie. And on behalf of Quality and Qualifications Ireland, I hereby also confer the award of Postgraduate Diploma in Arts in Counselling, Psychotherapy, Cognitive Behavioural Modalities on the following donor in absentia: Ferrator Deirdre.
I now invite Dr. Susan Lawler to present the candidates for the Master of Arts in Counselling and Psychotherapy Person-Centred Modalities Programme.
I present the following candidates who have successfully completed a program of study in the Irish College of Humanities and Applied Sciences and who are worthy of the QQI Award of Master of Arts in Counselling and Psychotherapy Person-Centred Modalities, and I request you to present them their parchments to them. Bashkarska Alexandra. Griffin Allison. Hartnett Kinnett. Lihova Lucia. Martin Connor. Leslie Chisholm. Wallace Stephen.
On behalf of Quality Qualifications Ireland, I hereby confer the award of Master of Arts in Counselling and Psychotherapy Person Centred Modalities on the following download in absentia. Gibbons, Walshaw, and just hold for a second. And I also hereby confer the award of Postgraduate Diploma in Arts in Counselling and Psychotherapy Person Centred Modalities on the following download in absentia. Malone, Aoife.
I now invite Mr. Joseph Ford to present the candidates for the Master of Arts in Counselling and Psychotherapy Family Therapy Programme.
I present the following candidates who have successfully completed a programme of study in the Irish College of Humanities and Applied Sciences and who are worthy of the QQI Award of Master of Arts in Counselling and Psychotherapy Family Therapy Modalities, and I request you to present their parchments to them. Thelma Curia. Claire Maloney. Victoria Nadika Ogbata.
On behalf of Quality and Qualifications Ireland, I hereby confer the award of Master of Arts in Counselling and Psychotherapy Family Therapy Modalities on the following downloads in absentia. Farley, Tara, O'Neill, Emer, Sheehan, Trina. And again, please.
I present the following candidate who has successfully completed a programme of study in the Irish College of Humanities and Applied Sciences and who is worthy of the QQI Award of Master of Arts in Counselling and Psychotherapy Psychodynamic Modalities. And I will present a parchment to her. Sorry. Hello. Oh, I'd like to know. I'm on it. Oh, man. Now I invite Mr. Joseph Ford to present the candidates in the Master of Arts in Childhood and Adolescent Study, the Master of Arts in Childhood Studies, and the MA of Arts in Adolescent Studies.
I present the following candidates who successfully completed a programme of study in the Irish College of Humanities and Applied Sciences and who are worthy of the QQI Award of Master of Arts in Childhood and Adolescent Studies, and request you present their parchments to them. Samar Finnis. Georgina Gallagher. I present the following candidates who have successfully completed a programme of study in the Irish College of Humanities and Applied Sciences and who are worthy of the QQI Award of Master of Arts in Childhood Studies, and I request you present their parchments to them. Linda O'Donnell. Josephine O'Donnell. I present the following candidates who successfully completed a programme of study in the Irish College of Humanities and Applied Sciences and who is worthy of the QQI Award of Master of Arts in Adolescent Studies, and I request you to present her parchment to her. Shauna Murphy.
place again. On behalf of Quality and Qualifications Ireland, I hereby confer the award of Master of Arts in Childhood and Adolescent Studies in the following downloads and abstentia. Howard Nancy, Latif, please, and there's just somebody else to order. Latif Mariah and Yara Shireen. And likewise, I hereby confer the award of Master of Arts in Adolescent Studies on the following downloads and abstentia. Destiny Wisdom Danny, Oglesby Elizabeth. And again, I hereby confer the award of Postgraduate Diploma in Arts in Adolescent Studies on the following download in abstentia, Town Road Gale. So you might confer.
I present the following candidate who has successfully completed a programme of study in the Irish College of Humanities and Applied Sciences and who is worthy of the QQI Award of Master of Arts in Clinical Supervision and Professional Practice, and I will request you to present her parchment to her. Fedora Levogue.
So, sorry. And again, the certificate in clinical supervision in professional practice. Again, the following candidates I'm going to present them because, sorry, I think you're presenting Joe. Okay, sorry, thank you. So I will present the QQI parchments to them. Adrian McKenna and Orla Tompkins. So I will also confer the award of certificate in clinical supervision and professional practice on the following downloads in abstentia. Bennett Esther Anna, Brown Jenny, Le Prince Emmeline, O'Brien Alice, Quirk John, Reedy Anne, and White Nola. So you might congratulate those.
I now invite Dr. James Kane to present the candidates for the Master of Arts in Addiction Counselling and the Postgraduate Diploma in Addiction Counselling.
I present the following candidates who have successfully completed a programme of study in the Irish College of Humanities and Applied Sciences and who are worthy of the QQI Award of Master of Arts in Addiction Counselling, and I request you to present their parchments to them. Passion Onion. Cleary Daniel. Egerty Sheena. Needham Mary. Johanna Lisa. O'Shea Ann. I present the following candidates who have successfully completed a programme of study in the Irish College of Humanities and Applied Sciences and who are worthy of the QQI Award of Postgraduate Diploma in Arts in Addiction Counselling. And I request you present their parchments to them. McHugh Michaela. Dowdy Coley Cowan.
Okay, sorry, everyone, one way. Okay, sorry, my apologies for being absent then. So on behalf of College and Qualifications Ireland, I hereby confer the award to Master of Arts in Addiction Counselling on the following learners in absentia. Ababuela, Mary Louise, and Fitzgerald Gerald. And likewise, I confer the award of Postgraduate Diploma of Arts in Addiction Counselling on the following learners in absentia, a learner in absentia, Royal Graham. So again, you might.
I now invite Dr. James Kinane to present the candidates from the Certificate in Addiction Studies, Gambling.
I present the following candidates who have successfully completed a program of study in the Irish College of Humanities and Applied Sciences and who are worthy of the QQI award of Certificate in Addiction Studies, Gambling. And I request you to present their QQI parchment to them. Adwana Kenneth. Tennessee Mary. O'Brien Helen.
Again, on behalf of College and Qualifications Ireland, I hereby confer the award of Certificate in Addiction Studies, Gambling on the following learners in absentia. Ada Flo Eva, Absian Adiasan, Ayosi Judith, Bulger Pollyanna, Brady Jade, Burke Mary, Bourne Anya, Carton Anya, Crawford Lily, Cummins Julie, Davy Diane, Devani Ronan, Foley Brian, Green Sarah, Haverty Kirsty, Henderson George, Horn David, Keely Kenny Orla, Kenny Lisa, Canary Siobhan, Lavelle Katrina, Lonergan Michael, Long Eddie, McGuire Sean, Mangan Aidan, McCasey Jennifer, McCready Gary, McGill Deirdre, McGowan Jade, Meany Pamela, Nash Margaret, and Mokolo Maureen, O'Brien Fiona, O'Donnell Cowell, Ryan Nicole, Shields Capel, Sheridan Elaine, Switzer Michael, Taylor Zoe, Tehan Saoirse. And again, you might congratulate.
We're now concluding the conferring of the awards on the graduates, so I ask you to extend a huge congratulations and round of applause to all our graduates. Which recognises scholastic excellence. College recognises the significant academic achievement and commitment of students who demonstrate excellence each year through the making of the Students of the Year Award to those who achieve the highest overall grades on both the undergraduate and postgraduate programs. In all instances, the awards are made for academic and scholastic excellence, and they're based on recommendation of the Academic Council. And now I invite Professor Jane Alexander on behalf of the Academic Council to present the ICHAS Students of the Year 2024 award with their awards.
So I have great pleasure in inviting Cindy Alexandra Matter from the Bachelor of Arts Honours in Counselling and Psychotherapy to come forward to great pleasure in inviting not one, but two students forward to accept the joint Level 9 Student of the Year award. Both students got the same overall mark and could not be separated. So the college decided to recognise both achievements equally. I now ask Mrs. Josephine O'Donovan from the Master of Arts in Childhood Studies and Mr. Stephen Wallace from the Master of Arts in Counselling Studies. You're glad to join that.
Formal addresses to the conferral ceremony. The first address is from Dr. John Gaffney, Chairperson of Academic Council and Member of Governing Authority.
Well, good morning. Hello, everybody. This is certainly a good news day, isn't it? Everybody's smiling, which is lovely to see. And as further good news is that I'm making a very short speech, so you needn't worry. I'm chair of the Academic Council, so I'm offering my personal congratulations to these wonderful students. As I said, they look very happy, and to all the gang there at the back who've been supporting you and helping you out and being good to you over the last couple of years. So I'm going to say a few words of warning there, really, looking at my notes there. Anyway, I think I can assume, knowing the kind of staff of the college that I do, that your study has been very worthwhile here and enjoyable as well. You've done an enormous amount. You've explored, I don't know, different ideas, absorbed tons of information, I'm sure. You've acquired skills, very important skills, and even more importantly, you've listened and you've learned and absorbed all of that over the last couple of years. But the bad news is, it's not enough, because now you have an educated mind, very important asset. But the more important thing is, how are you going to use it? How are you going to use this education that you've been given? I mean, I know you use it in your work, in the very important work that you do. But I think you might agree that, as the Chinese proverb puts it, you may be condemned to live in interesting times. It is certainly a time of change. Some of the change that we're experiencing is unprecedented. It hasn't happened before. And to that extent, all of the people, old and young, in the country may have to surpass the traditional ways we view things and how we've understood things up to this point. But as, and this is where your educated mind must be put to work, that you may need new ways of thinking for the future to make sense of what you hear and what you see around you and in your own mind as well. Now here in the college, I can assume, I think, knowing the curriculum, as I say, and the staff, that I hope you've got perspective on things, that you've learned to think perspective, how to have perspective, that you have got insight into particular problems or situations, that you look for deep insight and not react, as many people do. And that you have, I'm sure, developed the ability to empathize with other people. Never, ever lack empathy in your character, no matter what the challenge is. You must understand as well the dialectic argument of opposites. You must understand that for every point and everything you believe in and you subscribe to, there is an opposite to it. And a great challenge for young students and slightly older students as well is to understand the opposite. And maybe even understand the opposite of what you believe yourself, which can change your mind. That is important, I think, as well. So to that extent, because of the age that we live in, you will be requested, and I hope you will, learn to analyze the information, decipher the information, look for solutions in the information that you're given, and so on. And more importantly, always do the right thing. Over the coming years, I hope you look back to this day and to the few years you've spent here and say that the college made you wiser. You get grey hair eventually, which will help. More intuitive, that you get the gut instinct of it. You can see through things, etc. And also that it made you more confident in yourself. That your mind, as I said, was opened up, that your imagination was stimulated, and that you questioned your own attitudes and behaviors over time. In short, I suppose that I hope the college and your studies have made you aware of things, aware of how you think about some things, what you think, what you want, and how to go about, Montaigne, the French philosopher, said, the business of living, basically, how to conduct a life. There is no greater achievement, I think, than the ability to accept your own being. Let that resonate for a second, to really accept who you are, without any contempt for yourself, or needless to say, without any illusion about yourself. And then you get the sense of yourself where you know who you are, and what you want to do. So I encourage you to go down that road from this day on, to explore these things. And also, a couple more small points, to try and use your studies and all the knowledge that you have to develop practical wisdom. Try and fix things. Don't maybe consume as much, but try and fix things. Be practical. Apply yourself in that way. There's very great satisfaction in mending and fixing things, to be recommended in your spare time. You must develop courage. You will need this. You need to be courageous in the coming years. You need to be brave in the face of adversity, because there is adversity out there. There are people who are putting forward various ideas, and you must be courageous in terms of those ideas. You must also pursue a sense of justice in your actions, in your beliefs, in your philosophy. You must look for the just cause all the time and subscribe to it. And lastly, if you can be fair-minded and you can be temperate in your approach. Don't overdo things, don't underdo things. Steer a middle course, at least occasionally. And that might make you the person who you are, that you're here today to celebrate. So because you're all smiling, I know you're happy, you have enjoyed this, it's great for you, and that sense should never leave you. Believe in that, and you'll be fine. So once again, my personal congratulations. Congratulations from all the staff here. Well done to the gang at the back, and I wish you all very well in the future. Thank you.
I now invite the college president, Professor Dennis Roy, to offer his presidential address.
I'm going to remove the hat for this because it's just simply too warm. And as well as that, I was reminded by my daughter many years ago when I got it originally in UCC that I looked like Henry VIII wearing it. She wasn't too far off the mark, to tell you the truth. Anyway, I just need to find my address now. And one of the things I would say, just reflecting on Dr. Gaffney's address as independent arbiter, if you like, but independent chair of Academic Council, is that there are some similarities, even though I think both of us can testify, John, that neither of us have any idea what the other person is saying, and we haven't had for years. But there are some similarities between what we're going to say. So I wish to God that I could ask actually Dr. McGurkaghan from Griffith College to say this for me, because I'm going to start with a couple of book last Gaeilge, and it's over not with Gaeilge Codifa agus Fakor, agus Tanga Lucas an Gaeilge, agus tá sé táchtach an Gaeilge a ahand agus Arab or Codi Marshall. The Brishin current 40 go there, as Gaeilge, agus Cogalgus Dave go there. That's unfortunately my limit as far as Irish I had the privilege of being asked to confer some with college with both and introduced them both in a second to Dr. McGurkaghan and also Kevin O'Sullivan. And I was duly impressed by the president of Griffith College, who addressed his students and indeed the congregation in Mandarin, in Spanish, what else was there? Portuguese, I think was. I can't remember what else there was. Kevin, Nigerian, some of the Nigerian dialects, Chinese. Kevin is going to tell me Dublin Dutch as well, but Italian as well. So unfortunately, I can't do a battle with the president of the college in that regard. And my culture vocal are as far as I can go in terms of my multilingualism. So I do want to go back to it, and I want to start, as I said, with the distinguished guests and now new graduates of the college. So again, let me start by renewing the welcome that's been extended to you by both vice presidents, by the Vice President for Academic Affairs here on stage, and also by Marie McClatty, Vice President for Corporate Affairs, when she was trying to corral you all outside there and doing a magnificent job in terms of trying to put order on you. I'm remarkably pleased that there are only 2 people who actually didn't turn up or that we hadn't in order. And out of the total number of graduates, that's not bad going. So I want to extend, as I said, my welcome also to you on that. And on behalf of my colleagues and members of Academic Council and members of Governing Authority, and indeed on QQI, on whose behalf I had the privilege of conferring you with your awards just now, let me again congratulate you all on your achievements. In that context, I'm mindful of our need to combine celebration and the formal marking of your achievements with acknowledgement and indeed remembrance. It's clearly important to celebrate the contributions made by your families, by your loved ones, by your friends, and your supporters, and all of those who have supported you to get to this point in your collective academic journeys, and indeed in your individual life journeys, and they are quite diverse, and I'm aware of some of them. So this address will acknowledge them, but in so doing, I want also to be mindful of any of the college community, and I view the college community as your friends and families, as the extended family, if you like. And anybody in the college community who may have experienced illness, and I'm conscious that some of you here who are graduating today have experienced very significant challenges in terms of illness, and that's only the people that I'm aware of, and I wouldn't be aware of everybody. But also those who have suffered loss in the past year. And I'm particularly mindful that I had the very sad, in some ways, but a privilege also of attending the funeral of one of our graduates who died earlier this year suddenly with a massive heart attack, and it was extremely poignant. He was 40 years of age, and it was remarkably sad. But that man had made very significant contributions in the 40 years of his life, and some of it, while sad, was also a celebration of the contribution of the things that he had done. So I'm very conscious of that. I'm remarkably also conscious of some of the journeys that I know about, as I said, and probably more mindful of the ones that I don't know about. So I don't want to start pointing out people who individually it would be inappropriate to do so. I just want you all to be mindful of the fact that we are conscious that people have difficulties and challenges in their lives, and we'd like to be there to support you through those if possible. Because those who have experienced serious life-altering illnesses, or any of you that have had any sort of illness, everybody demonstrates courage, commitment, resilience, and strength to complete your education. And I absolutely, on behalf of everybody here on the podium party, I salute you more than I salute those who didn't have those sort of journeys. And maybe the families might actually join with an applause for everybody who had good journeys. On a slightly broader note, I'm also conscious that the ceremony is in Limerick. And as a community in Limerick in the past few weeks, we have absolutely collectively mourned the loss of two giants of culture, and indeed of comedy and of song, and that's John Kenny and Johnny Doohan, both of whom made unbelievable contributions across their lives to Irish society, to Irish music and to culture. May their families and friends, as well as yours, find comfort in the memories of those that you have lost. As a tribute to both the memories of John Kenny and Johnny Doohan, we're slightly changing the ceremony this afternoon. Normally, at the recessional procession, there's classical music, but there won't be today. I'll be asking you to exit to one of Johnny Doohan's songs. I can't ask you to exit to one of John Kenny's comedy pieces, because that would be completely and utterly inappropriate. Probably hilarious, but completely and utterly inappropriate. So for both of them, mainly because John Kenny was also a remarkable singer. I remember seeing him doing the support act many years ago in Hollaida here in Limerick to Freddie White, and he was some performer outside of comedy as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a recession, or the recession will be to Johnny Doohan. I hope himself, we picked it from Spotify, so I just hope to God that it's all right, singing Don't Give Up Till It's Over. And I think it's appropriate because it's a motivational song. And I think it's an appropriate one. So just returning to the formal elements, I want to address in this, I'm supposed to address things that are important and meaningful. Now, John has done that much better than what I can do it, but I want to try to bring together three things in terms of thoughts that you might also take with you, and they relate to the conferral itself. And there's three key elements to a conferral ceremony, besides the wearing funny clothes. But there is ceremony, there is symbolism, and there's celebration. The ceremonial aspects are deeply rooted in tradition. The National University of Ireland, whose colours I'm proud to wear, when in an explanation of the origins of academic dress, they remind us that formal academic dress has its origins in medieval times, and comes from clerical dress in particular. And you'll see that the essential academic dress that you have on today also comprises of 3 elements. So 3, I'm not advertising as the phone company, but there are 3 a theme of 3 running through this. So there's the gown that you wear, or the guna. There's the hat or the hood or the cap, and there's a hood that has your colours, and there's also the cap. The colour and the style of those 3 items will vary according to academic level. So you'll see the likes of myself or Tomas or others wearing sort of red gowns and funny colours or whatnot else. You'll see master students wearing gowns with long sleeves, and you'll see undergraduates. So the dress itself has meaning to it. The order of ceremony is also rich in symbolism, and that also comprises of 3 elements, which I explained to your families before you guys came in. The first of those is the academic entrance procession, where distinguished guests, as well as members of faculty, we formally assemble to recognise your achievements. So we're here to honour you. You aren't part of that procession at commencement. You come in before it. And that's a recognition of the fact that the conferral marks a formal rite of passage for you. When the academic party takes the podium, and when we try not to fall over ourselves finding chairs up here, but when we take the podium, the second element starts, and that's where there's a formal convocation or assembly called for the purposes of making awards. And that's important. And then your achievements are formally celebrated by conferring you, and that's what happened earlier on. From that point onwards, you become graduates, not before that. And the final symbol of the transformed status is evident in the fact that at the end of this, you will be invited to formally join the recessional procession. And when that happens, the symbolism of that is that the podium party will leave the stage and will lead the academic procession, and you will join that as an equal part of an academic community. And that's the symbolism of that is very important. Please don't lose out on that. And if you can at all, try to remain calm without throwing your hats in the air until we at least get out of the room with some level of decorum or dignity. So anyway, just going back to the theme of 3, your achievements have also involved 3 key stakeholder groups. Firstly, yourselves, obviously, as students. Secondly, those who have had the privilege of teaching and supporting you. And finally, now this is not in rank order, finally, your family and your friends. Within that tripartite type of arrangements, your families and podium party, we're here to honour you today. And in turn, it's also important for you to have the opportunity to formally acknowledge their support. So firstly, in terms of the podium party, I want to provide you with the opportunity to express your appreciation for what John has referred to already. And I'm proud to lead a team who I absolutely see manifest excellence in their teaching, excellence in their support, and in the model of teaching that we employ, which is a lecturer or practitioner model of teaching, and the support that you have received from them. So I invite you now to stand and to show your appreciation through a round of applause for the faculty and the staff and the workplace staff and placements as relevant. Let's not overdo it. Let's start looking for pay increases. So that's enough. Right? So it's also fitting and only proper, to be honest about it, to celebrate and to mark the contributions made by your families, by your loved ones, by your friends, by your supporters, all of those who have supported you to get to this point of your collective academic and life journeys. And there are some of them down here. I had the privilege of meeting one small man lately. You're there, your little boy, I think, earlier on, who absolutely was pointing to the Christmas tree, to the presents, and I assured him completely that he was on Santa's good list, not like you, but he was on Santa's good list, and absolutely Santa will be coming to him and bringing him loads of things, not just one. So no pressure there, matey, right? Okay. So again, let us collectively mark and acknowledge the support, encouragement, and sometimes the tolerance of those who have co-journeyed with you when you had bad hair days. So again, as new graduates, will you just stand and face your families and give them We do need to clear the room before 4 o'clock this evening. Right, okay, so back to the sort of formal bits. So some of these, if they start out formal, they're designed to be somber affairs, and in many ways, that's not just for the sake of being pompous events. It's not for the sake of arrogance, it's not for the sake of elitism, it's not for the sake of academic snobbery, but because they celebrate the fact that you have spent hours and days and weeks and months arriving at a point in your lives where you can successfully participate in a higher education graduation ceremony. And they're different from other types of ceremonies. And you can share in all of the traditions that I've referred to. Participation in academic ceremonies of this type means that you share and walk in the steps of others who have over centuries walked the same journey as you. And in that sense, the traditions associated with the confounded students, they're important. They're important for continuity. They're especially for any of you who may have never seen academic attainment to this level as part of your future, but who have achieved it. And I'm conscious that there are some of you who never thought you would be part of ceremonies like this. Some of you, as I said, never envisioned that you would have the opportunity in life to share in such events. For others, it was part of a well-planned journey. But in either case, participation in academic ceremonies of this type means that you share in and walk in the steps of others, and that's, as I said, important. So irrespective of how and from where you arrived here today, the sameness of those 3 things that I mentioned to you, your academic robes, your academic dress, all of that sort of stuff, that symbolizes shared achievements and shared achievements with your peers and being part of a peer community. As individual students, you need to be proud of the fact that you have been conferred today with awards from Quality Qualifications Ireland. And we're joined by Mary Sheridan, who I'll mention in a moment, from QQI. And I want you to reflect on the meaning of those awards. The ceremony also marks the first time that you are formally entitled to use your academic titles. And you should use them. You should use them and not abuse them, but you certainly should use them and you should be proud of them. We have a number of distinguished guests who have come to acknowledge, as I said, your achievements and to symbolically mark your celebrations. So you also need to know who they are. We are very honoured to be joined, as I said, by Mary Sheridan from QQI, who attends to honour you, and she does. Mary is head of provider governance and risk with QQI and holds key responsibility for ensuring the proper management of colleges such as ours. Mary is a good friend, but friends also do their job. So Mary will not be behind the fences if it's the thing that our governance systems need to be addressed, or if it's the thing that they're in any way inappropriate or whatever. She will mark our cards, and I honour her for doing that because it's a remarkably important function. Her key responsibility, as I said, is for ensuring the proper management of colleges such as ours. Across the independent colleges sector, Mary has been a valuable and a very valued guardian and custodian of both corporate and academic governance structures over the years. And they are fundamental to the quality of education that you have received and that others will receive. I know that all of the independent colleges in the HECA sector, which I've mentioned again in a second, greatly appreciate the high standards that you expect, Mary. And as a college community, we are very grateful that you could take time to be with us all today. Traveling from Dublin is not that far most of the time, but in current conditions, it can be somewhat of a challenge. So we're very grateful to you. In addition to that, we are a proud member of the Higher Education Colleges Association, which is an association of non-state funded higher education colleges in Ireland. Recent statistics from these colleges suggest that there are well over 20,000 students completing higher education professional programs, I'm sorry for the sound, and professional programs in these colleges. All of them offer primarily degrees of undergraduate and postgraduate level, which are validated and awarded by Quality Qualifications Ireland. So I'm very pleased to formally welcome Patricia O'Sullivan, the Executive Director of HECA, who is also honouring you and your family by her presence. We worked very closely over the past number of years with you, Patricia, in very mutually beneficial ways, and we absolutely look forward to continued collaboration well into the future. As a college, we are also involved in a range of partnerships, and those which obviously include QQI, as well as HECA, but we also have a particularly well-established and productive relationship with Griffith College. And in that regard, I am extremely pleased to welcome my esteemed and learned colleagues, Dr. Tomas McGuckagon, who is the Director of Academic Programs for Griffith College across their 3 campuses, as well as Kevin O'Sullivan, who is the Head of Campus of Griffith College, Limerick. That partnership has been in existence existence in Dublin for over 10 years and has been very successful. But it was extended this year when we agreed with our colleagues in Griffith College to relocate our Limerick-based campus to the excellent facilities of Griffith College in Conlon with the approval of QQI. That sees a new development for us as a college, and one which has been welcomed by students, faculty and staff, and we are very grateful for the welcome that Kevin and his team have given us. It makes city centre access and easier transport connections available to students. And we have been able to share some facilities to the benefit of both college communities, and we look forward to ongoing collaboration in that regard. Finally, we have also in attendance John Ford, the board member with Gambling Awareness Trust. John is a former Garda superintendent. It's okay, none of you will be getting penalty points. But in addition to that, he has been private secretary to the Garda Commissioner, and as I said, is a member of the board of GAT. Now, the Gambling Awareness Trust, or GAT, is an independent charity that was set up to establish and operate a charitable fund, which funds gambling addiction counselling, prevention, education, research, and awareness services in Ireland. And they have supported students in ICHAS over the past year or so, maybe 18 months, to undertake level 9 certificates in addiction studies with focus on gambling. And we have some graduates here in the room present from that particular program. And I guess many of you may have noticed that an awful lot were in absentia. A lot of the reason for that is that a significant portion of those have actually commenced master's studies, and I think they made the value judgment that they'd come to their next control next year rather than two of them. So that's a bit of a shame, but there's a lot of them, and certainly it has provided students with very tangible support. We are the only college in Ireland, I think, that are offering programs of education at postgraduate level with a focus on gambling. There is strong evidence for the need to educate professionals to support individuals with problematic gambling and their families in the wider community. Thus far, as I said, we have had learners complete this program, and I know from speaking with many of them that they would not have been in a position to complete their studies without the generous reimbursement available to them from GAT. And on their behalf, let me thank you, John. Each year, we mark, and quite correctly so, the achievement of students in terms of their outstanding achievements. We do this in the form of the awards of Students of the Year, and in that regard, let me congratulate Cindy and Stephen and Josephine from them. It's quite unusual to have people that are inside of them. So I don't know what that says for both of your relationships, to be blunt about it. I don't know what your partners will say about that, if you have any or whatever, but anyway, that's unusual. So again, congratulations to you, to all three of you. I'm aware that the work that was put in behind the scenes to ensure that this ceremony is as memorable for you as possible. And in that regard, I absolutely want to commend the Conferral Committee. As said, the team of people who have worked hard to make today's ceremony possible and memorable are to be highly commended. There have been late nights and early mornings, and sometimes late nights and early mornings melted into one. And indeed, trying to make corrections to my computer this morning meant that they continued until about 10 to 11 this morning here. In particular, I want to acknowledge the excellent leadership of both our Vice Presidents in that regard, Marie McCahey, Vice President for Corporate Affairs, and Professor Jane Alexander, the Vice President for Academic Affairs, as well as Joseph Ford, Director of Studies, and all the team involved. You might show your appreciation. So one of the things that a Conferral address is supposed to do is it's supposed to invite reflection of some sort. So in the final section of this address, I want to take a brief opportunity for you to reflect, similar to what John invited you to do, on the transformative journey you have taken, and then to think how you might use your learning and qualifications in future. That's where we have similarities, I think. I'm fairly confident that most of you have long since forgotten most of the things that were said to you at induction into your studies. But I'd like to remind you of what I would have said to you about the college and its ethos. And now that your current journey has formally come to a culmination, I'd like to remind you of that ethos and ask you to reflect on it. The college sees itself essentially as operating from an ethos which incorporates a sense and value system driven by a philosophy of person-centeredness, and within that context, an institutional ethos which values genuineness, authenticity, unconditional positive regard, respect, and empathy. When all of you started in the college, I told you that our belief was that education at higher levels was not necessarily a right, and I very much don't see it necessarily as a right, but rather as a privilege, that brings with it responsibilities. Higher education should give you the gift of humility and never burden you with the curse of arrogance. I sincerely hope that has been the outcome for all of you, and that you will have developed the capacity to transform your learning into knowledge which can be applied for the greater good of society. So what else are you to use your learning or qualifications for? Personally, I would hope that you would seek to apply your learning and your experience to promote and challenge values and norms that might be divisive. But that takes courage and arguably heroism and character. Like many of you, I studied ethics, but I studied it back in the late 1970s. I confess I didn't pay too much attention at the time to the word ethos, which I've used liberally here. And that was different to some extent from the concept of ethics, or so I thought. My lecturer at the time was a man called Father Edward O'Callaghan, who was a Franciscan friar. Brilliant man. In his first class, he sauntered up to the blackboard. This predated whiteboards and certainly predated Zoom. And he in a very exuberant way, he writ large on the blackboard the word ethos, and he invited comment on what it meant. Gavin, what does it mean?
And then your right word then to that.
Oh, you're such an odd. Anybody else? Maria, what does ethos mean?
Me?
Yeah.
Hold on. You put me on the spot now.
You weren't listening to my lectures.
Oh, yes, I was.
No, you will not. Right? No, I'm not going to put you on the spot. Right? So it comes from, none of us got it right, so you're not alone. Right? Okay, when you invite us to say what
I remember that then.
that
Nobody
none, of
got
us,
it
that none of us got
No,
it right.
that's
Absolutely, nobody got it right. So, but nobody, very often people don't. But he told us that it was of Greek origin, and that what it meant was character. And that's something that John Gaffney also mentioned a few minutes ago. And he said that is a defining feature of all of us, both individually and collectively. And he never wanted us to forget it. And I never have forgotten that. And I believe collectively we never should, because character is what defines us and what distinguishes us in terms of institutions, in terms of individuals, or indeed as a society. And I look to our western shore and a couple of thousand miles beyond that, and I wonder what character is going to mean there over the next number of years. But we shouldn't forget it, because it's closely aligned to our values and to our beliefs, both personal and societal. As I've said, the college sees itself as operating from an ethos that incorporates a sense and value system driven by a philosophy or an approach of person-centeredness or student-centeredness. So institutionally, that's our character on the basis of the values that we espouse. And I want to start quoting people now. And if we look to Mahatma Gandhi in his time, and if we want to think about his wisdom, he reminds us that our individual character and way of being doesn't need to be boisterous. It doesn't need to be antagonistic. And it certainly doesn't need to be divisive. And he tells us very simply, but very profoundly, in a gentle way, you can shape the world. And I hope that's what you will do. As we reflect on recent political developments internationally, it's debatable as to how much societies value boisterousness, or antagonism, or divisiveness. Many of us await and need to learn from the outcomes of the political decisions that have been taken, fairly recently. While we must respect the choices of people, it's also important that civil society and leaders in communities, which I hope you will be, and certainly leaders in communities of practice, must provide genuine leadership, and where necessary, act with heroism as a manifest feature of our character, of their character. A little bit more recently than Gandhi's call for gentleness, if we look back to 2021, a gentleman called Philip Zimbardo, who was a distinguished American academic, he died actually in this October, just a month or so ago. He made a fantastic contribution to our understanding of heroism. He drew clear distinctions between three concepts of heroism, of altruism, and of compassion. And sometimes they get conflated and mixed up. Some of you who have studied ethics in your studies may be familiar with him, because he had a very distinguished career, but perhaps he was best known for his infamous Stanford prison experiment. And I know certainly I have referred to that in my own teaching in research methodologies and design and dissertation stuff. Based on at least 5 years of studies, Zimbardo concluded that heroism was multifaceted and it had 4 at least distinguishing features. He said, firstly, that an act or acts performed, heroism was where an act or acts performed in the service of others in need. Now think of the programs that you have studied, whether in childhood and adolescent studies, whether they're in fields of counselling and psychotherapy, you are in service of others. Whether that's a person, a group or a community, or in defence of certain ideals. He went on to say that acts of heroism are or should be engaged in voluntarily, so there's nobody forced. Even in military contexts, because heroism remains an act that goes beyond something that's required by duty. Thirdly, they argue that an heroic act is one performed with recognition of possible risks and costs, be they to one's own physical health or personal reputation, in which the actor is willing to accept anticipated sacrifice. And finally, heroism is performed without external gain anticipated at the time of the act. Essentially, he posited that heroism is a choice. It's voluntarily engaged in with knowledge that the acts may have risks to self and they are undertaken in the service of others or in the service of ideals. Given his recent passing, I think we should heed his words and remember them. And in my view, I certainly believe that when we want to celebrate and acknowledge heroes, those are the types of collective values, beliefs, or actions that we need to gauge our heroes by. I actually think that you guys have the potential for that. I urge you to bear those constructs in mind, and whether or not any or all of you choose heroism as a value, remember that your education in this college should prepare you well to be societal heroes. You will be judged by others, as we all will, through your thoughts, your words, your actions, your intellect, your knowledge, your kindness or lack of it, your encouragement, your respect, and the means through which you engage in the service of others or ideals. We need those types of heroes now more than ever. So I say to you all as a college community, the educational system is not here merely as a conduit to prepare you for employment alone. I think that's been a mistake down through the years of looking at education as completely a functional thing that will get you a job. It is that, certainly, but it is not just that, nor should it be. Providing you with a skill set is about training, providing you with the wherewithal to think reflectively and independently, or autonomously even, and to learn from all of life's contexts, including challenges and adversity, and to act in the interests of higher values and in the service of others or ideals, in my view, speaks to the real value of a higher education. In that context, I want to acknowledge the tremendous work of my colleagues, the vice presidents for both academic and corporate affairs, as well as the director of studies, the registrar, program administration team, as well as members of faculty and the student body for your partnership ethos and your visionary approach. Helen Keller once said that the only thing worse than being blind, the only thing worse than being blind is having sight and no vision. I would like to think that ICHAS has been somewhat visionary in terms of how we design, how we deliver, and how we develop programs of education. Many of you will have engaged with our particular model of blended learning. Our model involves the use of technology to enable learning, and its development involved persuasion, dog-headedness at times. Sometimes that's called perseverance in more polite language. But above all, it entailed a vision of the possible. That effort was largely being guided and mentored by Jonathan Flynn, our Educational Technology Manager, and Harry Dickinson, our Information Systems Manager, who has now departed the scene. I was hoping he'd be here to hear me say something nice about him the odd time. So as a college community, we are not constrained by convention, but we utterly respect tradition and, more importantly, well-constructed standards. And in that regard, I want to pay particular tribute to those who have pioneered type of innovation and delivery methods we have developed. It has certainly meant that many of you have been able to engage in higher education where you may not have been able to do so in more traditional contexts. Education, as with life, involves collaborative effort. In the case of students, collaboration clearly involves teamwork and also involves sacrifices made in trying to achieve an appropriate work-study life balance. In that regard, I want to acknowledge the partnerships approaches that many of you have taken, the friendships that have emanated from working closely together, and the learning associated with all of that. Harry, I actually said something nice about you. So anyway, so going back to it, when we speak about values and partnership, I want to reiterate the fact that none of the developments at ICAS would be possible without the support, engagement, and commitment of an excellent team who both have the capacity and commitment to make visions reality and to live by the values of the college. They're a fantastic team. If I continue to mention names, I'd have to go on all evening, so I'm not going to do that. I did say we have to be out by 4 o'clock. Other than to say that the quality of your educational experience would not be possible without the entire team we have in teaching and administrative roles. So again, just show your appreciation for them, just briefly. That more or less concludes the formal bits of what I have to say. And I did say that I wasn't going to start naming names, but I do have to make one special exception to that and acknowledgement today. Over the past 15 years, the college has been privileged to have been served and academically led by an exceptional person who asked me not to make a fuss. And that's Jane Alexander. I lied, Jane. I am going to make a fuss. Right. Anyway, forgiveness, it's easier to see, being married for 40 years next June has taught me that it's easier to seek forgiveness than permission. And so, today formally marks the retirement of Professor Alexander, who from today onwards, and she doesn't know this, so from today onwards she will formally become an emerita professor of the college. An honour I'm pleased to extend to her because it's justly earned and well deserved. Jane has been my friend and colleague for over 25 years. And we worked together in various projects and in various capacities since the late 1990s. It's worth reminding, so both of us are in our mid-30s. It's worth reminding you all that academic work in higher education is measured by three key elements, namely service to teaching, research, and contributions to the wider community. So when you go for promotional posts, those are the three key things that you're measured by. We've worked together across all of those three domains for over 25 years, and from my perspective, it has been an honour, and it has never felt like work because it's been enjoyment. We collaborated in research. We shared a journey in programme development, programme management, teaching, and our shared contribution to the wider society was and continues to be mainly in the form of shared peer-reviewed publications. Indeed, we're working on a new edition of a book chapter at the moment that is supposed to be ready at the end of this month, but we're not going to meet our deadline, so we will be looking for an extension from somebody. I hope they're as tolerant with extensions as we have been. So anyway, I just want to return to character, and I want to try to intertwine these things. Jane's commitment to excellence is a central element of her character. That commitment is grounded in the values that she espouses, that she models and lives by, and they have been of remarkable importance to this college and to me personally and professionally. For those of you who don't know, Jane has made very significant contributions to the broad field of mental health over, well, I was going to say many, but over a few years, Jane. She originally trained as a psychiatric nurse as I did, and later worked in community mental health services in the UK. She subsequently trained in psychotherapy and practiced in both the UK and Ireland. Immediately prior to joining ICHAS in 2010, she was a lecturer in Trinity College, Dublin, having previously worked as a senior research fellow at Durham University, and before that as a lecturer and research assistant at City University, London. And I think there was a few other appointments in and out between that I haven't listed here. I'm very aware that Jane will be and is now fit to kill me. She's very uncomfortable with public acknowledgement. But on an occasion like this, it's only appropriate that her record of service to academia, to teaching, to research, as well as to clinical practice and the fields of practice and the service users in the wider community is acknowledged. So while I apologise for the discomfort, Jane, I make no apology for ensuring those contributions are appropriately made public and appropriately acknowledged. From a teaching perspective, Jane has a highly prized record of teaching and has been actively involved in the development of undergraduate and postgraduate programs, and in an Irish context, in program reviews as well as institutional reviews for QQI. Her contribution to teaching also includes the supervision of many PhD, doctoral and master's students to successful completion. She began her academic career, not her career, but her academic career in 1998, following a distinguished career in mental health services. she held several clinical and managerial posts in the UK. Her main experiences, sorry, what did I say?
No.
Oh, no, sorry. God, I feel all the scrutiny here now. Anyway, so her main experiences prior to academia was in primary mental health care, with working directly with GPs and liaising with community mental health teams. She completed major research projects while working in this field, including an investigation of counselling provision in GP practices and an evaluation of the placement of community mental health staff in GP practices for Sainsbury Centre for Mental Health. Not an unnoteworthy centre that we assure you. Her PhD was in mental health studies and was funded by the trustees of St Bartholomew's Hospital in London. That work was an important sociologically based qualitative study investigating the experiences of acutely ill patients and staff in mental health hospitals in London. Part of her studies were completed at the University of Maastricht in the Netherlands, I think with Professor Link Nyland, if my memory serves me correctly. Prior to those, she completed an MA in counselling psychology in psychodynamic psychotherapy, thus her actual conferral of one of the students today, which I think was quite appropriate. And her main research interests have been in acute mental health care and the relationship between severe life events and depression. Now, if those aren't seminal contributions, then I don't know what to say. She worked on several major research projects at City University, where I think our working relationships would have started, Jane. And in that context, that's where I think I worked with you initially. Her research career included work on NHS-funded projects, as I said, as a senior fellow at the Centre of Academic Workforce Innovation in Lincoln University. And as I said, more recently, when she moved to Ireland, she initially worked in Trinity, a really inferior third-level college here. We rescued her from it. So, but she worked there on research on the accommodation of diversity in Irish maternity services. We've been very privileged to have had the services of Professor Alexander since around 2010. Jane, you have been a model colleague, a beacon of ethical practice, and from a personal perspective, a very valued friend. I also know that you have impacted on the work and lives of students as well as colleagues. That's why we collectively wanted to acknowledge your contribution to the enrichment, not just of academia, but to all of our lives. So before we conclude, certainly your colleagues will join you later for lunch, but for now, I want to invite Mary Sheridan from QQI to come forward to make a small presentation to you and to say a few words.
Just to assure you, I'm going to be in Dublin at 4. The President said that you'd be here at 4. I'm going to be in Dublin. I was just a couple of square again. I looked around at the Queen Ushla, Anna Hasaram, Bet in you, Bet and Shop in you, Cogordigus, O'Cree, got dinner at Town Shop, Queen Teshtish or Fad at Town Runner in you. When Tanif Asalo Abasaniha, Queen Gopra or her Fad. President, guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'm absolutely delighted to be here with you today on this special occasion in the life of ICHAS and in your lives. I would like to begin by offering you on behalf of QQI my heartfelt congratulations on the very special achievements which this day represents to you. For you, the graduates, today marks the end of one journey and the beginning of another. Remain true to the journey that has led you to this day. Remain true to those who have helped you to be here. And above all, remain true to yourselves. The other transition which we are marking here today, and I'm delighted to be here on behalf of QQI, is to mark the formal retirement of Professor Jane Alexander. The President has outlined her many achievements. On behalf of QQI, our role here is to also acknowledge the achievements she has made to QQI over the years. For those of you that don't know, QQI is responsible for making awards, but its other functions include setting standards and monitoring quality in the programs that students receive throughout the country. In that regard, over the years, Professor Alexander has assisted in our work. We rely absolutely on professionals, on academics and on practitioners to assist us in the quality assurance of programs and in assuring us that the standards that are set are achieved. Most recently, Professor Alexander assisted in one of the first QQI institutional reviews in the private sector. And her attention to detail, her attention to governance, both academic and corporate, her attention to the involvement of learners in the whole process was exceptional. So now, on behalf of the student body, on behalf of QQI, and on behalf of, I suppose, the private higher education sector, I'm delighted to be here to formally present Jane with an important token. I'm sure the next phase of her life will be as busy as the last, and to give her a nice Irish blessing on the way. Gomara to Cade, may you reach 100 years.
Sorry, Jane is getting up to stop me, but there's no stopping of me while I have control of the microphone. There's a second bit of this as well. So thank you, Mary, for making that presentation on behalf of, I guess, of academia. But on behalf of your colleagues, I'm going to invite your peer, the Vice President for Corporate Affairs, to come forward and make you a presentation on behalf of Governing Authority and Academic Council as well. The woman wants to take control of the microphone. You can't be having that saying. Just 1 second. And listen, just finally, on behalf of the student body that are here today, may I invite, I'm not sure who, but one of the students of the year perhaps to come forward. You can fight among yourselves as to who is going to be to just make a presentation of bouquet of flowers to Jane on your behalf. So who wants to do that? Right, okay. God. So Jane has asked to say a few words. Yeah. Believe that, if you will. So Jane, and then we'll come to Andrew.
Okay, so I'm overwhelmed by all that. Dennis promised me that he was not going to do anything like that, but nevertheless, I'm so grateful but I just wanted, what I wanted to talk to you about is that I think probably that my experience at ICHAS, when I came 15 years ago, has been very like your own. You know, I think we underwent a parallel kind of process. So as I said, I've been around quite a bit before I landed in ICHAS 15 years ago. And what I can honestly say is that I came into as a sort of extension of my own family, if you like. And maybe in some ways, the family that I never really had, you know, in the same way. I found a degree of acceptance, of no judging, you know, just kindness, and that I'd never experienced before in my academic life, which is why I hung around so long, all right, and why it's been so hard for me to come to the decision to leave. So it's been wonderful. It's been wonderful throughout these years to see you all coming up here and going out into the wider world. And more than anything, it makes the job that we do worthwhile, because working at ICHAS has changed me, and I know, well, I hope that you've undergone that parallel process. And being at ICHAS, and we've got wonderful lecturers who I know are biased, but they're unique, has also changed maybe your view as well. So I wish you all the very best, and it's a sad day for me, but I'll carry forward. I'll stay friends with all my colleagues, and hope to hear from you on what you're doing, and all the best for the future.
So, as we come to conclusion, there is no way that I was going to start talking about 4 o'clock for that particular clause. I'd be shocked if I did. And I'm tempted to say, Jane, that you're not gone away, because it's a little bit like what's a hotel called California or something like that, that once you check in, you never leave. We will absolutely remain friends and friendly with you. There is one final part of the formal bits that I want to change, but I have said this to nobody. Normally at these occasions, it's the president who leads out the academic procession. But I want to defer that to Jane on this particular occasion, and Jane will lead out you as part of the academic procession in just a minute. So finally, I shut up after this. Thank you all. You needn't sound I can read body language. So listen, finally, thank you all very sincerely. I want to thank you guys for choosing to study with us. It's not an easy choice coming to private higher education. You pay for yourselves, particularly undergraduates, and most postgraduates expect to do that. But I want to thank you for choosing to study with us. Jane, I don't know what medication you're on, Jane, but like suggesting that we're nice or something like that could be a fate worse than death. I seriously, I hope to God that you have enjoyed your journey with us more than maybe you found it challenging, because you're going to find it that. So thank you for choosing to study with us. It's a privilege, as far as I'm concerned, to have students choose to study with the college. It's a privilege to work with people that, in my view, are as Jane said, as are accepting, as inclusive, as non-judgmental. Mind you, they all judge me, but outside of that, it is a fantastic experience. So thank you. And as a young man there was bored, if I don't show up, he's going to miss out with his food for a second. So thank you for being part of this very important occasion. And I wish you well in your celebrations. But I urge you to be mindful of some of my comments about citizenship, and ask that you be safe and healthy. And to finish in the first official language, if I can manage it, let me say as best I can, Australia, that my fervent prayer is that la cúna fé, maybe the Goléir Slán Tool, August Bio, ag an am shot an dín shakul. Gomila Mahagwib, August Slán.
Jane Alexander to come up and formally close the meeting of the academic.
So this concludes the meeting convened for the purpose of conferring QQI awards on the students of our college. Congratulations to all of you here today, both graduates and your families. On behalf of Academic Council, I'd like to invite you to enjoy the light refreshments in the lobby area. However, before that happens, I would also invite you all to stand for the closing procession, which will be led by the podium party, joined by the new graduate of ICHAS. Okay.
What did you learn today?
How they wither and fade with nature's power. Next year, so don't get if you can hurry, you'll show you will make strong. Watch like a ghost, hold on, looking for surprise. And I know it's mine. So don't if you can, you sure will make you strong.
Any last words, Joe? Any last words, no?
Pretty name I can't remember. Christmas party in 77. I'll be back in earthly town.